What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video here on the NTG Sports Lounge channel. Today we're going to recap week 2 of the NFL and give you my week 3 predictions. It was a very exciting week. I did not do very well for my record. We will get into that whenever I get into the actual video. As always, thanks for the support. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you drop a like on the video if you enjoy it. And let's get into the video. And starting off our recap for week 2, Thursday night football, the Ravens taking on the Bengals. This is a very good game. Very surprising to me. The Ravens, I don't think, are that good of a team. I didn't think the Bengals were this good of a team, but they impressed me. The Bengals looked really good. Andy Dalton ended up throwing 4 touchdown passes, 3 being caught by A.J. Green, his star wide receiver. The defense looked very impressive. They ended up getting the victory 34-23. This division, with the Steelers having problems with Le'Veon Bell, and now with the tweet recently sent out by Antonio Brown saying, "Trade me, let's see what kind of numbers I put up," after being called out by a fan. They're not where they need to be. The Steelers aren't. The Browns are up and coming. They look very promising to me. The defense looks good. The offense looks good. The Bengals, surprising me, as I said. And the Ravens are kind of down from where they have been the past couple years. This division is up for grabs. Let's see who steps up and takes it. And the second topic that I want to get a hold of here is Ryan Fitzpatrick. I told you last week he was going to have another great game this week. He was impressive again. He looked like he did week 1. Just kept slinging the ball, throwing for yards, throwing for touchdowns, and ended up beating the Super Bowl defending champion Eagles. Let's ask the real question here. Jameis Winston isn't injured. It's not like he's not going to be coming back. He's just suspended for a couple more games. Are you going to stick with Ryan Fitzpatrick, or are you going to go with Jameis Winston? I think they need to ride the Fitzpatrick train until it ends. Ride the flame out. If he keeps throwing for 4 or 5 touchdowns a game, let him go out there and start. Jameis Winston can come in whenever his heat dies down, and maybe this team can have a better record than what a lot of people thought they would. They were picked to be the worst team in the NFL this season. But in my opinion, they need to stick with Fitzpatrick and just ride out his flame until it dies. The next topic I want to talk about here is another quarterback, but not a veteran quarterback like Ryan Fitzpatrick. A very young quarterback in Patrick Mahomes. Had another incredible game. Looked like he's going to be a star in this league. Ended up with 6 touchdown passes. That's incredible for that young of a quarterback. He fits, like I said last week, fits well with the Chiefs' offense. He can get the ball to just about any player. Kind of makes me upset because last week my fantasy lineup, I didn't start him. I had him on my bench and started Aaron Rodgers, because how do you bet against Aaron Rodgers? That's stupid to go not start Aaron Rodgers in your fantasy lineup. But he had 15 fantasy points in my league. Patrick Mahomes sitting on my bench at 38 points. Still won, but could have won by a lot more points than what I won by. So, in my opinion, Patrick Mahomes, he's a star in this league already. If he keeps doing like he's doing, the Chiefs are serious Super Bowl contenders. So, in the second week, the Browns came this close to getting a victory again. They still ended up losing to the Saints by 3 points, which is sad because they looked like they were going to win the game the whole time. They were up pretty much the whole game to the very end. They lost due to their kicker, who they had released and signed a new kicker. They have also traded wide receiver Josh Gordon to the Patriots for a 5th-round pick. The last topic I want to talk about here, guys, is the Los Angeles Rams. They look good on paper. They look good on the field. There's nothing wrong with this team. Their defense is incredible. Todd Gurley speaks for himself. They are just one of the better teams in the NFL right now. The matchup they had last week, they throttled, absolutely destroyed the Cardinals. Ended up beating 34-0. The first injury I want to get here too on the injury report is Joe Mixon, running back for the Cincinnati Bengals. He injured his knee last week in his matchup against the Ravens and is looked to be out for at least 2 weeks. The next injury I want to talk about is star wide receiver for the Colts, T.Y. Hilton. He apparently has injured his quad and missed practice on Wednesday We don't have any other reports on how serious it is or if he'll play on Sundays. He just missed practice on Wednesday. Next injury I want to talk about is star running back for the Jacksonville Jaguars, Fournette. He injured his hamstring week 1 and left the game. He has returned to practice. No word on yet if he'll play Sunday or not. And the last injury I have here on the injury report is going to be the Rams kicker. I'm not sure on how to pronounce his name, so I'm not even going to try to butcher it. He injured his groin last week in the pregame warm-ups. Is said to be out for at least 3 to 6 weeks. Any further delay, let's get into week 3 predictions. Last week I counted up my tallies, had a broke even week with my predictions, went 8-8. That makes my overall record 17-15. Hoping I can bounce back this week and get my record up a little bit more. Last week y'all didn't comment who you all picked and didn't comment your record, so let's see if y'all can do it this week. See how we compete against each other. Maybe a prize at the end of the year to whoever has the best record. I don't know yet. We'll see how that goes farther on in the year. Anyway, let's jump into these predictions. All right, guys, start off week 3 predictions. Thursday night football coming to you tonight sees the New York Jets taking on the Cleveland Browns. I've said it earlier in the video. I'm a big believer of the Cleveland Browns. I believe that the Jets are a really good team. Sam Darnold is a good quarterback. But I believe the Browns will pick up the victory 21-17. Next matchup here, guys, is the New York Giants taking on the Houston Texans. The Giants have no offensive line to help Eli out. And on the other side of the defensive line, J.J. Watt. It's going to be a very long game for Eli and the Giants. I pick the Texans to win 21-13. The next game we have here is going to be the New Orleans Saints taking on the Atlanta Falcons, a divisional matchup. No real reason here. I'm a big believer in both teams. I think the Falcons are good. I just think the Saints are a little bit better. I think they're going to win 28-24. The next matchup here, guys, that I have is the Green Bay Packers taking on the Washington Redskins. I think that you can't go against Aaron Rodgers. It's hard to bet against him. The Redskins are a good team, underrated in my opinion. I think the Packers will come out with a victory, though. Score 28-17. The next matchup I have are the Eagles taking on the Colts. The Eagles had a bad loss last week, even though it came against the Buccaneers with Ryan Fitzpatrick throwing touchdowns left and right, throwing for 400, 500 yards. It was a close game. They had a chance to win it, couldn't get it done. I think they bounce back this week and end up beating the Colts. I think they get the victory 32-17. Next matchup sees the Minnesota Vikings, Super Bowl contending team, in my opinion, against the Buffalo Bills. A team, in my opinion, the worst team in the NFL. They don't look good on offense. They don't look good on defense. They had a player, Vontaze Davis, retire mid-game last week. If that tells you anything, that should speak volumes. I think the Vikings pick up the victory 29-6. The next matchup here is the Miami Dolphins taking on the Oakland Raiders. The Raiders don't look as good as I thought they would coming into the season with their new head coach, John Gruden. The Dolphins look more impressive to me. I'm not saying they're a great team or even a good team, but I think they pick up the victory 17-13. The next matchup we have here sees the Denver Broncos taking on the Baltimore Ravens. The Broncos have really surprised me this year. I didn't think they were going to be that good of a team. They look great on defense, but their offense isn't much. Case Keenum is a good quarterback, but he's not what they need to be in the Super Bowl, in my opinion. The Ravens, I've said it countless times now, I don't think they're as good as they have been. They're going to fall off, in my opinion. So I think the Broncos are going to pick up the victory here, 17-13. The next matchup here, guys, is the Carolina Panthers taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals have surprised me this year. I'm not a big believer in their team. I didn't think they were going to be as good as what they're doing right now. Their defense looks incredible. Andy Dalton is tearing the field up. A.J. Green is being A.J. Green, what we expect from him every year. I'm going to ride their train until it dies out, till they prove me wrong. I think they pick up the victory 23-13. The next matchup we have sees the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Tennessee Titans. Last week, the Jaguars did not have their star running back in Leonard Fournette. Now, as I stated before, he has returned to practice, but no word on whether he'll play Sunday or not. But if you can go and beat the Patriots without your star running back, there should be no problem beating the Tennessee Titans, who have their star quarterback, Marcus Mariota, out with injury. I think the Jaguars are going to pick up the victory 23-7. The next matchup I have wrote down sees the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Two up-and-coming quarterbacks, 49ers with Jimmy Garoppolo, Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes. This guy is a stud in this league in just his second start, throwing for incredible yards, throwing for touchdowns left and right. He's going to be a star in this league, guys. He may be the next big quarterback that we see. As I stated before, I'm starting him this week in fantasy just because of what he done last week over Aaron Rodgers. So I think that's enough said. I'm going to pick the Chiefs to win this game 28-24. The next matchup is the battle for LA. Los Angeles Rams taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. Both of these teams are really good. The Chargers need a little bit of help, in my opinion. I don't think they're where they need to be Super Bowl contenders. The Rams, on the other hand, look great on paper, look great on the field. Team's performing just like we thought it would, and I'm going to pick them to win this game at 34-17. The next matchup I have sees the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks, I think the bandwagon has died. They were good for many, many years, and they're nowhere near what level they need to be Super Bowl contenders. The Cowboys, in my opinion, aren't that good of a team. They have Zeke. Yes, he's a power back, all-pro running back. Dak Prescott, in my opinion, is overrated. They have a decent defense, but I think they can beat this rebuilding Seahawks team. I think they get the victory 24-14. The next matchup here I have sees the Chicago Bears taking on the Arizona Cardinals. I said earlier the Bills are the worst team in the NFL, in my opinion, but it may be the Arizona Cardinals. They don't look good on defense, don't look good on offense. Both teams kind of look the same, in my opinion. The Bears, on the other hand, looked really good week 2. I'm going to pick them to win this game. I think they'll win 28-6. And for our game on Sunday Night Football, we see the New England Patriots taking on the Detroit Lions. The Patriots are one of the better teams in the league just because of who their quarterback is. I've said it time and time again. Matthew Stafford is underperforming this year, just like he has in past years. I think they continue to lose as long as he's playing bad. If he's not playing good, they're not that good of a team. I think the Patriots will pick up the victory 32-17. Monday Night Football, we see the Steelers taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think there's a little bit of trouble behind that steel curtain that the Steelers have. Le'Veon Bell, not there. He's not released yet, but he has been removed from the depth charts. Antonio Brown was called out by a fan earlier this week, saying that if he was on another team, he would not put out the numbers that he does for the Steelers. So Antonio Brown retweeted it and shouted back and said, then trade me. Get me on another team. Let's see what happens. That's a lot of drama going on for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they have started off really, really slow. They've stumbled out of the gates. They haven't won a game yet, tied with the Browns, and lost last week. So they're 0-1-1. And I think they pick up their second loss of the season here. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Ryan Fitzpatrick, throwing touchdowns left and right, throwing for yards. He's looking incredible right now. As I said earlier, he's the best player in the league right now. Give him the MVP. I mean, I know it's early, but he's the best MVP candidate we have. Him and Patrick Mahomes are right there with each other. I think the Buccaneers will end up winning this game 28-21. All right, guys, that wraps up all the predictions for Week 3. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, make sure to leave it a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Comment down below what your record is so far, who you've picked each week. Let's see where we can beat against each other. Like I said earlier, there may be a prize at the end of the year for the person that has the best record. Not sure on how I'm going to do that yet. I'll let you know as the season progresses. As always, guys, thanks for the love and support. Peace out.